Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer was very vocal yesterday about the oil spill and how the investigation should be handled.
No one should touch that pipeline. No one from this company. It must be done independent, and it must be overseen by either Coast Guard divers or Orange County Sheriff Department divers.
The Coast Guard made it clear that they are overseeing the response to the oil spill. So what got DA Spitzer so fired up?
Let's bring in Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer. Welcome back to the show. The governor today trying to make the point that they are not a part of the investigation. What say you?
Well, listen, I think I got my way, and, I've been in law enforcement for 30 years. The fact of the matter is you don't let the criminals go back to the crime scene. And so that was my point yesterday. I was standing next to the CEO of the company talking about the fact that he had already deployed his cameras down along the pipeline and that he was going to send his diver team back into the water later yesterday afternoon. And I said, you got to be kidding me. I mean, that cannot happen. And so I'm glad that they decided to use what they call an independent entity. I honestly think that commercial entity is the insurance company's dive team. So I think it's still too way familiar. But at the end of the day, I want the Coast Guard dive team down there, and I want to make sure that it's independently corroborated. In addition, now there's this whole focus on whether a ship anchor pulled that particular pipe. And I can tell you yesterday, it was their intent to go down, repair that line, run their camera through it to see whether or not they fixed it properly, and start pumping oil again. There is no way that they need to be doing that until we get to the extent of the investigation here.
All right, so let's just be clear here on your office's role in this whole investigation. I know that you dispatched a team of prosecutors and DA investigators from your environmental crimes unit. So what have you learned in just the last 24 hours?
Well, you heard Christina talk about the fact that those platforms are about 3 miles out. So actually, my jurisdiction goes 3 miles out to the land, and we have crimes that have been committed on Orange County property. We have dead animals, we have discharge into our waters. So there are actual crimes that have been committed. We now have to decide who's responsible. The company itself has their pipeline, right? And they're going to say, well, wait a minute, we have a pipeline, but we're not responsible because it was a ship anchor and it's the ship's responsibility. So you can already see how this is already going to be a finger-pointing exercise, and it needs to be an independent entity like the District Attorney's Office, the Coast Guard, the United States Attorney's Office, that will determine liability and have to go ahead and enforce it. Look, my first and foremost concern right now is protecting wildlife, cleaning up the environment, and making sure that our coastline is clear of oil. But number two, we have to determine causation. And what I didn't hear today, today was a political stump speech about offshore drilling. It really offended me what happened today at that press conference with the governor. Where were the people talking about all the economic losses that all the businesses are suffering? They went through COVID, and now they're going through an oil spill. We had the air show in Huntington Beach this weekend. All those people have been devastated financially. Dana Point Harbor is closed. Newport Beach Harbor is closed. All those trips to Catalina, no more boats to Catalina. There is huge economic and environmental impact. Who is talking about that? My job is to get recovery for the citizen.
And not to mention, if you really do stop offshore drilling, how does that impact gas prices, too, which are already going up, and sort of how do we go through all that? That's a debate for another day, though. I think
I agree with you. That's a debate for another day.
Let's focus in on the investigation, because what you are uncovering is a TikTok of who knew what when. Which I know a lot of people in Orange County are frustrated that more wasn't done sooner on this.
So let me tell you, I now am in possession of documents from the United States Department of Transportation that indicate that the alarm on their control setting, their alarms went off at 2:30 in the morning on Saturday morning. So there were reports of oil in the water about 10 p.m. on Friday night. Apparently that wasn't investigated. It was kind of blown off. It's at night, we can't tell, blah, blah, blah. Then we now know the alarms went off because the pressure dove in the pipeline at 2:30 in the morning. At 6 o'clock in the morning, they finally shut down the pipeline, but they didn't report it. They didn't report to authorities until 9 o'clock in the morning Pacific Coast time, which means almost 7 hours passed from the time of the alarm until the time that there could have been resources deployed to try to contain that oil at the site in which people observed it was coming up. That means that passage of time probably resulted in thousands of gallons being discharged that shouldn't have been discharged.
Well, we know that you are going to investigate. Your office will investigate, and Amplify is no stranger to violations. So a lot more to come on this one. In the meantime, we're out of time, unfortunately. Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much.